Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on Guerrilla Publicity, Get Known Everywhere. I'm Peter Talion, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County, and I'll be your host. Our speaker today is Jill Lublin. More on our speaker in just a minute. This webinar is being done in collaboration with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and the Monroe Library. We are very pleased to have Beth Stoller with us today. Beth, would you like to make some opening comments, please?
Yes, thank you, Peter. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Beth Stoller, Operations and Event Manager for the Monroe Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Monroe Chamber, the Edith Wheeler Memorial Library, and SCORE, I'd like to thank you for attending this afternoon's Lunch and Learn. This Lunch and Learn is the first of our 2023 year. For over 5 years, our three organizations have come together to bring you great business-driven topics to help you grow and learn as business professionals. Before I speak a little about today's event, I'm going to share the exciting update you with the calendar for the next 2 months. On Thursday, February 23rd, we have a speaker who is going to come here and answer the question to you that I posed to you. Have you ever wondered, how do I actually get business from networking? Melee Kalmer her talk is titled Networking Like a Pro, How to Get Business from Networking. So skip the cold calling and lead chasing and come learn about this very topic. And then on Thursday, March 31st, our speaker is Julie Brain Lady Anderson. Julie talks about sales. So does the thought of sales calls leave you cold? Or when I even say the word sales, are you just a bit put off? Then you'll enjoy the presentation from Julie titled Connect More, Sell More Through the Neuroscience of Sales. You can go on the Monroe Chamber's event website and register for these 2 dates. It's already there. We will have Lunch and Learns hopefully starting in person in April. So we look forward to seeing you in person as well. Now I'm going to bring you back to today, and I know we're anxiously waiting to hear from our speaker, Jill Lublin, today, who's authored an international bestseller called Guerrilla Publicity, so we can take away some simple strategies to help us go from unknown to newsworthy. Peter, I'm going to turn the microphone back to you, and let's get started.
Thank you very much, Beth, and thank you very much for the ongoing sponsorship of the Monroe Chamber and the Monroe Library. First, some brief information on SCORE. SCORE has about 230 offices nationally with over 10,000 volunteers providing services. We are part of the Small Business Administration. Within SCORE Fairfield County, we have 100 volunteers with a very wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. We offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners: free one-on-one counseling, either face-to-face, telephone, email, or video, which can be accessed via the Request Mentor link on our website or via the link on the screen. Educational workshops and webinars, about 100 a year, and very extensive resources on our website, including a network of subject matter experts at your disposal. We converted some of our in-person workshops to live webinars due to COVID, but we are now doing more and more in-person workshops. Look for the specifics on our website. Some useful information about today's event. If you have a question, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Our webinar will end at 1 p.m. to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available at our website within the next couple of days. Now our speaker. Jill Lublin is an international speaker on the topics of publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She is the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals, and co-author of Guerrilla Publicity and Network Magic. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, went #1 in 4 categories. Jill is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability and more visibility in the marketplace. She is CEO of a strategic consulting firm and has over 25 years of experience working with over 100,000 people, plus national and international media. Jill teaches a virtual publicity crash course and consults and speaks all over the world. She has spoken on many stages with luminaries such as Tony Robbins. Jill also leads an intentional kindness community. Jill, it's a pleasure to have you, and we'll turn it over to you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Peter. And thank you so much for the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and everything you've done, SCORE, to put this together to bring value to all of the community. And I'm so delighted to be here with all of you today. Super excited to bring you real things that you can do to get your business out there now. And that's what we're going to do today, and give you real world tips for building publicity to get seen, get heard, and get paid. So that's a wonderful journey we're going to take. And also, I want to tell you right at the top that I am happy to answer questions. I'm going to pour content into you and give you some great knowledge. And then I'd love to take some questions and answer you to everything I can do. If you would please be so kind, go ahead and post your questions in the chat. You can feel free to do that at any time. I will answer them at the end of the presentation, just to best serve the flow of all. So super excited to do that with you. So feel free at any time to post them in the chat, and we'll answer them from there. So, the power of the publicity is to, check it out, blow your own horn. And the point is that you've got to blow your own horn, even when you feel like it's a kazoo, which this one is, because blowing your own horn and learning how to effectively manage your message and your reputation creates that publicity that elevates, see the pretty star? That's you, that elevates your star in simple ways. And today it's focused on affordable guerrilla publicity ways to do that and to create that. My friend P.T. Barnum, he said it best, and that is, a terrible thing happens without publicity. Nothing, right? So here's what I know, working with many entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you for many years, is that without publicity, people may find you, but it's a may conversation. With publicity, your clients and prospects are literally at your door. And I want to tell you some of the things that publicity really does for you. But before that, I want to tell you that you plant a garden, right? I want you to think of publicity like growing a garden. And in fact, I brought you some flowers from rainy San Francisco, where I'm from, and we are getting pummeled by the rain. Good to grow flowers with, I might add. And so with these flowers, you want to plant your publicity garden, and you want to think about and be planting seeds right now. And then I want you to think about a time frame of 3, 6, and 9 months from now. And with that, when we look at a whole time frame, that will grow your garden in a full year, and you'll have multiple leads and prospects to go forward with. So I love that. And when we're thinking about what does publicity do for you, let me show you some of the wonderful things publicity actually does for you. And let's start with ROI, because, it's been a proven system for bringing in return on investment with regard to clients and prospects and getting you more sales. And trust is so important in the marketplace today. This is what publicity is going to do for you, is increase your trust, give you more credibility and more visibility and more clients, and make you more money. Save you money, because you're not going to have to do expensive Facebook ads and all kinds of other things that people are paying for with regard to advertising, and gives you more exposure in the marketplace. And I only mean the good kind. All right. So this is some of the great things that publicity can do for you. Make sure, by the way, as we're going through this, you're going to want to take pictures of many slides that I'm offering you today. So get your phones ready. Be sure you're taking notes. The power of publicity is that it gives you influence and impact, right? Who wants more of that? Yes, we do. In fact, I say cheer for more influence and more impact. And if you like M&Ms, raise your hands. Even if I can't see you all, I feel it. I feel you. Raise your hand if you like M&Ms. Yes, I see that in the chat. Thank you for that. I love that. Well, guess what? Publicity gives you the 3 M's, which is to magnetize you, to multiply you, and to monetize you. Good stuff. I like M&Ms. I don't care what color they are. Just say it. Whoa, a little bit of a cough there. Please bear with me. Okay, good. So the power of publicity, besides being good in M&Ms, and we love that, is that I want to give you a wonderful formula for getting your message out. You know, because if you look at the first 2 letters of the word message, what are they? Go ahead, type it in the chat. What are they? First 2 letters of the word message is me. Exactly. The last 4 letters of the word message, what is it? Last 4 letters, what is it? Sage. Exactly. In the word message is me, sage. Isn't that interesting? Also in the word message is mess. And this formula, my friends, is going to be the opportunity to give you a message with a very simple way. All right, are we ready? Yes, we're ready. Give me a thumbs up, raise your hand, because I can see the raised hands at least. If you're ready for a simple formula that will get your message out. Thank you for participating. I see those numbers going up. Thank you. And it is this. The problem today is the problem today, right? You start with that. The problem today is, fill that blank in. Then I want you to say and give 3 solutions. Why 3, you might ask? Well, people respond in 3s. They can hear in 3s. It's been proven. So one of the things I want to encourage all of you is that I know you have great information, but I don't want you to pour so much in that people can't remember it. So typically 3 good points is excellent, whether you're presenting to someone, whether you're writing an article, whether you've got a presentation to give. Yes, 3 good points. We love that. And people can remember it. So you're an expert, and experts solve problems. So let me give you mine. Take some notes, because I'm about to lay down thousands of dollars of PR advice to you right now in simple ways. The other thing I want you all to do is give simple language. I mean 5-year-old language. I mean, keep your language simple, simple, simple. So I would say something like, you know, the problem today is 4 out of 5 businesses will go out of business because you have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. I want to give you 3 guerrilla publicity tips today for how to get your message out to the media. The first way to get noticed is to create your ooh, ah factor. The second way is to create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And the third way is focus on networking magic and show up in your communities at least twice a month for name and face recognition. Well, my friends, that is a message. We posted it in the chat so you could actually take some notes on that, because there are real things you can do right there in the message. And that's what I want you to do, is always give value and benefit to others, right? Because when you do that, you will be picked for media consistently. And speaking of being consistent, I want you to write these 2 words down, and that is to be consistent and persistent with your media approach. We'll give you in this webinar some visibility building activities, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we get there, I want to tell you how to create that message and go deeper on some of these main points we talked about. Let's just show them the next slide, please. We want to focus on one of my points was to create your ooh, ah factor. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, your ooh, ah factor is using everything you've got. And you know what's fascinating is this is one of the fastest, most impactful, simplest ways to get into media quickly. You know, besides having a great, shall we say, message that fits in everywhere, using everything you've got is about using all parts of who you are, right? And everything that you can do to fit into the media. So let me show you some great examples of that right now. When the pandemic hit, one of my clients, who's a psychologist, and one of the things she wanted to do was get out there more. Well, being a psychologist, first of all, we were doing a great story about how to relieve more stress. And yet when the pandemic hit, I said, why don't you do a story about how to be a quarantine? You're going to be the quarantine Cupid, helping people have good relationships in a time, you know, that was difficult, right? And so that story went really well and got her into major media like WGN in Chicago, Illinois, you know, huge 50,000 watt station, being the quarantine Cupid, right? It's fun, it's an ooh-ah factor, it's simple and easy. I'll show you another example, for instance, with an interior designer. And one of the things he did, we were doing a great story about how to get your house ready to sell. I work a lot with people in different industries, whether it be real estate or financial or all kinds of industries, right? And then, of course, all of a sudden we had to have workstations and home stations and learning stations for the kids and redesign homes so that they, you know, that we could work from home far more effectively. Well, guess what? This story landed him into real estate sections all across the country. Very powerful. One of the women I work with, she's a business communication coach. Well, when Black Lives Matter burst into the scene, I said to her, let's stop everything we've been doing and let's talk about how to be a powerful Black woman communicating effectively in today's time. And that was a switch in her story. So what is in your story? Where could you use everything you've got? Your ethnicity, your religion, your whatever you can use, right? Using everything you've got. It really works, I promise. I'll tell you just, if I may, about Ryan. Ryan was one of my clients. Before we go to this one, Mary Beth, Ryan was one of my clients who he's an instructional designer, works by himself. And I, you know, to be honest, didn't know exactly what an instructional designer did, which, by the way, they create course manuals. Well, I said, Ryan, tell me your story. Ryan told me that he was downsized from a corporate position. At that time, he had a pregnant wife with their third child on the way, and he had just bought a home, right? And here he is with a big mortgage payment and no job and a pregnant wife. And did I mention he already had 2 children, right? This was his third child on the way. I'm like, oh my gosh, Ryan, what'd you do? He said, well, I started my own company, and literally online, he actually created a instructional design company that was all virtual. And I thought, well, now that's interesting. I said, you know what, Ryan, you are? He said, what am I? I said, you are a virtual office warrior. And my friends, that spells VOW. The acronym for Virtual Office Warrior is VOW. Ryan took a vow never to work in an office again. Well, take a look at the slide on the screen. Look at the San Francisco Business Times and imagine this, my friends. If you were featured in the front page of the San Francisco Business Times or your local paper or anywhere around the country, wouldn't it be amazing, right? What would that mean to you to be featured? And look at the actual headline they actually used. When fired, you too can vow not to work in an office again. I also want you to notice that he got featured in Mac Home Journal. We laughed together. He goes, Jill, I don't even have a Mac, right? He got featured in Home Office Computing or Home Computing Weekly. Why? Because guess what? He worked from home. He got featured in Entrepreneur Magazine. Picture this, you in Entrepreneur Magazine. Yes, yes, that would be super great. He was featured in Entrepreneur Magazine because of being an amazing entrepreneur. And guess what happened there? I'll show you the results right now. That what happened from PR is that not only was he featured in all major national magazines and major media blogs and podcasts, but his business revenues increased 40% using publicity marketing strategies. And I'm going to tell you what else. Using everything he's got, because Ryan is Asian American, we got him placed in the Chinese Times, and one article resulted in over $7,000 worth of consulting business. Woohoo! Yes, literally, he went from zero and laid off to a thriving consulting business. That's what I'm talking about PR bringing you leads, referrals, and getting your name out there. And in Ryan's case, using everything he's got, being Asian American, created that literally one article created $7,000 in consulting. That's the power of PR, my friends. And I love it because it's free. Yes, yes. Now let's go on, and I want to show you, we've done some research. Take a picture of this slide because these are some of the hot topics that are working right now. Health and mental health, mindset, transformation, weight loss, goals, activism. Told you about Black Lives Matter. One of my clients recently in my boot camp, she is a Filipino. And she got out with a hashtag Stop Asian Hate story that got her, get this, one of the top 30 Filipino businesses under 30. She was 28 years old at the time. She's now 30, funny enough. And that honor, really, truly an honor, built her digital marketing agency, which is what she came to me for. How do I get more publicity on a digital marketing agency? And I said, let's go out with the story, hashtag Stop Asian Hate. And that's what she talked about, not her business. So I really want you to hear that. Open your ears today, widen your mind, because I want you to get bigger in how you focus on giving a story that could work, well, in bigger ways than perhaps you imagined. Alternative healing is hot stories, real estate, being a consultant or coach, especially related to the last topic, which is quiet quitting and the great resignation. All of these people are all of a sudden finding themselves, oh my gosh, in business as a consultant or a coach, and they need to know how to run their business. So those two tie in really, really well. And of course, money, anything about money, insurance, making more money, and keeping more money, and anything in the financial world. If you're in the financial world, everybody wants to know about money. So that's a great key topic for all of you. Okay, so again, take pictures of this. These are the hot topics for today that are working really, really well. Now, as we go on here, I want to show you some visibility building activities. And that is, what are great things that you can do? These are simple, all completely free, that you can do consistently and persistently, in maybe, just so you know, most of my clients, less than 30 minutes a week. Okay. So let's just say, cut your Netflix just by 30 minutes and do some of these visibility building activities. And one of them, congratulations, pat yourself on the back, because you are doing it right now, which is networking in your community. You're learning, you're being with each other, you're growing. That's important. I want you to, and of course, being involved with your Chamber of Commerce. Monroe Chamber of Commerce is really key. That's a wonderful thing to do, to network in your community, to be involved with SCORE and their activities. Make sure you do that. Make sure you stay seen and heard. I want you to follow reporters on social media. In your topic, I promise you, there are some reporters who are focused in what you do. So find them, make sure to follow them. I want you to sign up for Google Alerts. This is completely free, and in the chat, Mary Beth is going to post a wonderful link. If you go there, it'll take you right to Google Alerts. And then with that, put your name in there so that when you're being seen and heard, you will be immediately notified of this. And then I want you to put like one line in. So for instance, when I wrote The Profit of Kindness, for example, I put in the word kindness. This is how I found out that, well, November 13th is World Kindness Day. Did you know that? Well, neither did I until I went into Google Alerts and actually put that word in to see what came up and who's writing about kindness. So that'll influence you and show you who's up to good stuff in Google Alerts and keep you notified about that. Then I love this next resource. It's called nationaldaycalendar.com. Again, we'll post that in the chat. I want you, you know, when I was talking about using everything you've got and using all parts of who you are, well, in nationaldaycalendar.com, you just might find an area that, well, I could fit into that holiday, right? And there's just some really super fun things that you can start to be a part of. Like one of my clients who is a business consultant who's got a 4-year-old. I said, hey, does your 4-year-old like hot dogs? He said, yes, she does. And guess what? There is National Hot Dog Day. And do you know, he got in about his 4-year-old loving hot dogs and was able to make comments that then drove people back to him because they do Google searches on you. He actually was able to drop his website in. So you see how this goes. You really want as much, shall we say, exposure as possible so that people keep hearing your name and, you know, getting more and more focus on you. Now, I also want you to go to iTunes and go see what podcasts are available. Like one of the women I work with, she does a lot of women's health issues. And I said, great, let's go and find out how many women's podcasts there are oriented specifically to your topic. Turned out there were 35. That's a lot, you know? Imagine yourself getting on 35 podcasts over a period of even, you know, 4 to 8 weeks, and what that would do to drive looks at your website, visits to your opportunities to work together, your free gifts, and to talk to you, right? That's the prospect and lead generation that converts into clients. Same thing you'll do with Blog Talk Radio. And then I love helpareporter.com, another free service, at least there's one level of free, that enables you to see leads that could be directly, well, reporters looking for you. Because here's the good news, like in your area, wherever you live, whether you live in Monroe or different areas of the world, guess what? Reporters need you. I promise you. And locally, they need you, right? And so that's really important, is that you are needed again, again, and again, with the opportunity to get seen, get heard, and get paid, my friends. Good news for all of you. Now, let's look at the next piece of focus for you. And I just want to show you a case study of how this was done. So this is my 4th book, The Profit of Kindness, and Guerrilla Publicity is in its 3rd edition, right? And so we always, like every good business person, keep learning and keep growing. My voice today is a little off, and that's how it just goes, because with publicity, you just keep going, right? So when we sent out, as much as I'd love to say, you know, we did do, of course, a campaign for the Profit of Kindness, but it wasn't like, ooh, Jill's got a new book out, or in your case, it's not just about your business or what you're offering. What we want to do is let people know from a media perspective what's in it for them. And so one of the things we did was put out a press release about the divided states of America. We can all agree, well, that's been a bit of a problem, right? And that, my friends, if you look at the slide, the bottom third of that slide is literally only a third of some of the media we got. We put in the biggest, the best, the brightest, right? And featured me literally twice in Inc. magazine, twice in Forbes Small Business, super exciting, right? 7 major market TV interviews literally in the first 30 days, Fox News, CBS News Morning Show, all kinds of amazing and beautiful things happened because we push the right button. And as you're sitting at the computer right now, go ahead and push that button. Go ahead and push your finger into the camera and push the right button, my friends, because that's what it takes to get media. It's not like you've got a great business or product or service. It's how your business, product, or service helps others, right? So I just want to say that. And one of the things I got inspired to do was start what I'm now calling a year of kindness. We're literally in our 3rd year of it. We do World Kindness Summits in November, and every month we have a wonderful meeting that's networking, filled with kindness, where you get to actually meet people and ask for kindness and ask for what you need next. So we are inviting you as our guest. Mary Beth will put the link in the chat, and you are invited to the kindness circles. Okay, so that will be really fun to see you there. Now, here's the thing. You need to, no matter what the media says, I want you to just always say, yes, I can talk about that. You know, yes, that'll be great. Like one of my clients recently, with all the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, you know, conflict and divorce issues, they are a negotiation expert. And so is a divorce a negotiation? Of course it is. Is a divorce about conflict? Yes. So one of my conflict coaches, she was able to talk about. One of my love coaches was able to talk about this, right? Somebody who's a self-published author, wrote a book about love, has gotten in media talking about that. Now, they might have said, well, that's about a celebrity getting a divorce. But here's the thing. You got to look for opportunities. Where can you just say yes to what the media is working on right now? And I promise you, there are opportunities everywhere you look. So we're going to put your PR antennas up, and we're going to help you see all those. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to start answering questions from you. So go ahead, post them in the chat. Happy to do that. Or, of course, you know, Peter can help facilitate the questions from you. Before I do that, I just want to make sure you know 2 things. That one is I have a beautiful challenge coming up. It's a publicity challenge. Get her done, real world things that you can do right now. Additionally, even to what we talked about, to get more PR strategies. And we meet for a quick 1 hour a day for 3 days. So we are offering this to you. It's only $1. There's a QR code on the screen, or the link will be posted in the chat. JillLublin.com/challenge. Please join us. If you'd like to meet with me, I'm happy as a gift to you to also meet with you. And it's also on the screen how to actually book an appointment with us, and happy to help you in any way I can. So that'll be super fun. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to have a great breakthrough challenge to really get your publicity done. So on the screen are wonderful links for all the ways that you can connect with me, and happy to support you. Because, you know, the reality of your message is that your message matters, my friends. Your message matters, and the media needs you. And that's the point right now, is let's get you in the news right now. All right. So with that, what I'd love to do is let's go over to some of the questions. And Robin, I know you are asking, if I might, you're saying, will this apply to nonprofit organizations? My answer is yes, yes, and yes. In fact, I've actually taught many nonprofits. I teach nonprofit publicity through one of our nonprofits here. And the truth is, you're still running, a nonprofit is still a business. Okay. So my answer is yes. And please use all of these wonderful ways to get your nonprofit out there. We also, Mary Beth, I'd like you to reach out to Robin. Because Robin, what we're going to do, because you answered that question, asked that question, is we actually have a course that we're going to gift you that's live with me. And we always gift a nonprofit direct admittance into it. That's for you today, okay? Just for being here. So super excited to offer that to you. All right. And Peter, is it okay if I just read the questions? We're good like this?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Jill. Let me just mention to our participants that the session is being recorded. We believe that the chat will also be recorded. There has been some problems with the chat, but all the postings that Jill and Mary Beth have put will be on the recording, so you can go back and take a look at those. But please keep going through the Q's and A's, Jill. Go right ahead.
Beautiful. Okay, Kirsten is asking, what is a good daily habit to find and create speaking opportunities? Great question, Kirsten. And of course, you know, being a speaker myself, we've had to look at this a lot. A couple things. One is Google Alerts. You can put in the word speaking opportunities. Might be excellent to do that. Haro, the other wonderful resource I gave you, also occasionally has speaking opportunities. Occasionally. They have actually far more media opportunities. But the good news is, I would tell you that if you're consistently good with your PR, speaking opportunities will find you. And in fact, one of the things I'll just say we're going to do in the challenge is how to write an announcement. One of my clients, being in the health field, actually got booked for a major speaking engagement from an announcement strategy that's completely free, that you're going to do every 60 days. We're going to actually do it in the challenge, just so you know. So I think that, and I not only think, but I know that publicity gets generated because you do, speaking engagements, get generated because you do publicity consistently. So again, consistency and persistency drive clients, drive speaking engagements. In your case, clients, I'll refer to them as also as clients, drive prospects, drive credibility, and drive trust. So when you are being considered for speaking engagements, you show the person who's putting together the engagement, look at some of the publicity I've gotten. Even if it's one podcast, you're, shall I say, rise to the top of the pile quicker. So that's really powerful. And I hope that helps you. Okay, beautiful. Catalin, I hope I'm saying that correct, is wondering about new members to your professional association. So congratulations on that, number one. And, you know, professional associations, members join because they feel that they've got a benefit there, right? I'm going to say to you, make one of your benefits PR, that they get PR because they're in your professional association. That's number one. Number two, being a professional association, there are calendar listings, for example, in your local papers where you can put in the fact that you're meeting, just like the Monroe Chamber of Commerce can put into your local business journal, your daily paper. They have a calendar section for meetings and events. Start listing your professional association in there. And also that announcement strategy, I want you to announce the fact that you've recently formed a professional association. And then get involved in the meeting planner industry, MPI it's called. I've been a speaker for them occasionally too. And they're a great organization where your professional association can also get seen and get heard. So there are associations for associations that I also think would be helpful for you. Okay, so I hope that helps you. All right, let's see. Okay, so many of you are asking about the chat, and you will be receiving, as I know, Peter, copies of the chat, true?
That's right, Jill. We're going to work with Beth, and we're going to get that material out to the folks.
Perfect, there you go, that's the answer. Okay, okay, so a person's asking about when you say get exposure, What I am saying is every exposure is good. And you're talking about, well, should you use your name or your business? Well, truthfully, it's all good as long as you keep leading people back to you, right? So you want, and sometimes you need to decide, like I'll do Jill, right? My name, but I also, my website's jilllublin.com. And truthfully, my business name is something else. Now, I don't care about my business name as much anymore. And you may feel the same, so to speak. And I think that that's really a decision, but here's the truth. All publicity is good publicity. If they use your name, believe me, people just Google your name, they'll find your business. Make sure, of course, that it's linked, right? And you'll work with someone on the technology side and your web design person, and make sure that your name is linked to your website and vice versa. And even with my name, I'll tell you, make sure that you have misspellings of your name, right? If people don't quite spell it the same, they'll still end up in the right places. So I think all exposure is good exposure. And of course, be good, be out there, be integrous, be honest, deliver great service, right? And you're going to get good publicity. And some of that, by the way, your testimonials, your referrals are also good publicity. So that all matters, and that really counts. Okay, so Jennifer's asking, about Google Alerts. Okay, so let me just, I'll go a little bit more into that. And that is, Google has a service that basically alerts you. So Jennifer, let's say you were featured in your daily paper, and Google Alerts would send you that actual article. So that's super great because you may have missed it. Here's a great example. I remember, I don't know if you all remember, it wasn't that long ago when Uncle Ben and Uncle Ben's Rice, right? And the syrup company, Aunt Jemima Syrup, right? They were changing their name. And I got asked by a Dallas ABC TV producer what my opinion was, because I wrote Guerrilla Publicity, and I thought, well, what do you think about this? And I, went on a Zoom with an ABC TV producer, and they recorded it. It was for a segment on their evening news. Well, I don't live in Dallas, so I didn't see that segment. But because Jill Lublin's under Google Alerts, I got an alert and then saw the whole segment, right? And now, of course, I can use it, because the thing you got to get about publicity is it's the gift that keeps on giving. So not only was that a wonderful segment, but then I can use that. And I want you to think about leveraging publicity and publicizing your publicity. And that's both the small and the big stuff. Everything matters and everything counts. So with Google Alerts, you put your name in, as well as maybe one phrase, depending on what you do. Let's just say wellness, and you'll put in wellness. And let's see, every time a reporter or somebody in the media is writing about wellness, you're going to see that. And what I love about that is it shows you patterns, who's writing about it, who's interested in it. And I think that that's really, really great. Okay, so that's really great. And Mary Beth, somebody's asking about my books on Amazon. Maybe you can just post that in the chat. The link that they can find would be wonderful. And then somebody was also asking about steps to reaching out to publications to get featured, and about writing an article or inquiring. Okay, so of course, this is like a little bit of a question, I'll call it in the weeds. So I'll be I'm going to give you a big picture, because that's really what's going to help you right now. Big picture is most media will actually ask and be interested in what you're doing, because you've sent a query through email with a good subject line. When I say good subject line, I want you to think about, I call them sexy subject lines, right? Like, don't just say press release, or like I have a gentleman right now, he's a disaster management specialist. Well, in California, we have been declared a state of emergency, right? And funny enough, he lives in California. Well, so state of emergency is happening right now, 3 tips you can use to keep your home dry, kind of thing, right? And so I think that that's really, we want to look at ways that you can quickly put your topic in a subject line, and then in the email, you want to simply sum up your bio and why you'd be a great guest, period. Like, it's called a pitch. It's a quick pitch. It doesn't go on and on because, well, media is busy, okay? So I think that that's a key. So that's an overview and a simple way to quickly get seen and get heard. And then there are, media lists, and media lists will tell you who actually might be the best one to reach in your actual subject matter. So I think that that's really important. Christine, you're asking about being a locally oriented service. And, interestingly enough, you're saying about national versus local credibility. Yes, Christine, start locally, but don't rule out national, because funny enough, sometimes you'll get a national piece and then you bring it back locally and become a local celebrity. But I think from an effort perspective, stay focused on and a productive strategy for PR, stay focused locally, because even locally, you've got your ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, TV and radio, plus your daily paper, plus your business journal. And I think those 8 resources would be perfect place for you to start. Okay, Io, you're asking about the 21-day challenge, and you're utilizing that outside of the group. I mean, I would tell you on my challenge, one of the things, frankly, that people get the benefit of is that I don't use it outside the group, that it is special for the group. So that's a decision you have to make for yourself. But you could do like segments and then put those out as maybe Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives and do some quick video on that. And that could be a great way for you to go with another good resource for that. Amanda, you're asking about press release. Yes, we do it in one of the programs I offer. We actually go through the template and the format. I'm really big on templates, formats, and systems. So every time you're with me, you will find a 30-day, a 60-day, and a 90-day system. Today, I gave you the 30-day system, which is your message. And that's a real key to success, that every 30 days, I want you to actually look at your message and be focused on where to make sure that it reflects you authentically and that it's who you are, okay? And Anonymous is asking about, well, that people love to buy, right? And how do you manage your relationships in building trust? Well, basically, you always give good information, right? You give good information all the time, real things people you can use. You notice in this short time together, you got multiple resources, multiple slides, multiple ways that you can get free publicity quickly, right? Even if you do 1 to 3 of those things. So I think when you deliver good value, people are going to come to you consistently. Okay, Michelle, you are asking about getting the attention and distinguish yourself. Well, first of all, do publicity. I think, it's one of those things, first one to the phone, producer, editor wins. And if you're not seen, you're not heard. That's what's true. So I think, getting attention is about being in front of them with a design that focuses on, here's the thing you got to think about, their readers, their viewers, their listeners. And so speak to their audience. Like the disaster management specialist, because he's in California, I'm like, you got to talk about the rain pummeling us and 3 things you can do at home to stay safe right now. Notice the U words, my friends. I want you to notice the U words, because that really helps. Daphne, you're asking about a product-based business, and hang on a sec, about keep going. Listen, everybody needs products, everybody needs services. To me, it doesn't matter what you do, it's about the message of what you're delivering. And you're asking about, if you get a no response, Yes, you persist. Yes, you persist. And in fact, in Guerrilla Publicity, we talk about the rule of 7 times, my friends, for follow-up. Do not give up. Keep going. Your message matters. Okay, so keep going. Products are just as good. I had somebody who had, I'm looking around because I have essential oils, but she had an essential oil business and got really seen and heard about being more healthy. Okay, beautiful. Sharon, yes, you are on the challenge. Mary Beth can answer you on that. And Kathy, you're asking about the first step in creating your business is all about your message. It's all about your message. All right, beautiful. And I'm going a little bit fast because I want to make sure I can answer as many people as possible, just so you all know. Melanie, you're asking about how often should you be sharing? And you remember in the beginning, I talked about plant your seeds and look ahead for 3, 6, and 9 months. And repetition is key. So I think that I'm big on a 60-day system and a 90-day system. And I go into more detail on that in other programs, but I will tell you the 30-day system I gave you is your message. Get that message out every 30 days. And that could even be through networking. Okay, beautiful. Gina, hashtags is not honestly my specialty. And I'm sure that somebody maybe here can help, but not quite mine. So I don't want to help you with something that's not my specialty. But remember, think in headlines, my friends, and speak in headlines. And Lisa, also about reporters on social media. Reporters tend to hang out on Twitter, maybe not as much anymore, but the truth is they hang out wherever you hang out. So find ones on Facebook, find ones on LinkedIn, and especially as business people, you all need to be at least playing in LinkedIn a little bit. And so I think that would be helpful. And Milvet, no, wait till you have a special question would be better, but definitely come to the challenge. I think would be perfect for a perfect solution for you. As far as Monica Mary Beth is asking about the resources for publicity. You will get a recording of this, so all of the slides are right there. And so that'll be great. Patricia, about a psychological thriller. Fiction is a little bit more complicated than nonfiction, but because your book's coming out in July, you're 6 months ahead. So I want you to do some very particular things, getting your book out now, and maybe you can play with the father theme for, guess what? Father's Day in June. How perfect is that? IO, you should absolutely use a VA, and the VA can look up podcasts. Would be a wonderful way to help you very, very quickly to get your publicity out. So I recommend to all of you get and use a VA to do some of this. That can be a very affordable way for you to get immediate help. And the first thing a VA can do is find podcasts that are specific for you, using that one particular slide we had with regard to, let's see, it was about Apple going into iTunes, finding podcasts, and Blog Talk Radio. Those would be super great places for you to get your name out there very, very quickly. So I will tell you that, wow, did I really get through all this? Yes, woo. I'm like, whoa, we got a lot of questions here. And part of being media trained, can I just tell you, is you have to answer questions in a focused, consistent, easy way and get there quickly. Eileen, you're asking about VA. Mary Beth, could you please post, let's give them Free Up, my link for that, as well as Bijal would be great. I have a gentleman in the Philippines. He's $5 an hour. He does all my research for podcasting. He answers Help a Reporter Out. as well as he's now supporting me to find speaking engagements. So that could be able to help many of you, but I'm really, really big on have some support. You have my wonderful VA here, Mary Beth. Thank you, Mary Beth, for all your great support here, who is running slides, who's posting in the chat. And that way I can be my best to deliver to you, well, what I know best. And so I really, one thing I want to say, because, you know, listen, you're on budgets. I understand that. And I wrote a book, Guerrilla Publicity, about how to have high impact publicity, you know, using minimum cost and having great impact, right? And so one of the things that I'm big on is find ways to delegate what you do so that you get to do what your genius is, right? Because listen, I'm best serving you with the things I know, the power of publicity. I've been in this business over 25 years. This is what I want to deliver to you. So do what you do best and deliver that, and be in the media so that people can find you. And imagine this with PR. If all this did for you was give you one new client a week, would publicity be good for you? Of course it would. And so the power of attracting new free business guaranteed, that's what publicity does for you. It rises your star, my friends. It elevates you to places that people can find you, see you, be heard, be paid, be visible, be credible. This is the power of publicity, the trust factor. And then you get to give your gift to the world. You get to give who you are in the best possible way. And this is what you're here for, right? So focus in on those visibility building activities. I gave you real things you can do in simple, fun, and real frankly, 30-minute segments a week. Do 2 15-minute segments, you will have results, I promise. And it's just a delight to be here with you all. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I thank you, Peter and Beth, for all the great work you've done to put this together. And Peter, did you have any last comments or closing remarks that we need?
I do, Jill. Thank you very, very much for the dynamic presentation you made today. Wow. I'd also like to thank the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and the Monroe Library in planning this webinar with SCORE. As a reminder to our many listeners, a recording of this webinar and the materials will be available within a couple of days on the fairfieldcounty.score.org website. Please check our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org, for upcoming information on upcoming webinars. We will work to get this material out directly to the individual participants. There's certainly a lot of different resources that Jill put out there that you can take advantage of. Importantly, if you could fill out your evaluations that will be sent at the end of the webinar, that will help us to build better webinars for the future. So on behalf of SCORE, on behalf of Beth at the Monroe Chamber, thank you very much, Mary Beth, for helping out on this. Jill, it's been a real pleasure listening to you. That concludes our webinar. Everybody have a great day.